Hi YouTube, it's Autumn. I wanted to give you a one-day update on my Louis Vuitton Turenne MM. I took it out yesterday for the first time. I bought it a week ago yesterday, and for one reason or another, I just hadn't taken it out yet. So I took it out yesterday for the first time, and I want to tell you about several things in this video. So one, I want to do a little storytelling, tell you what we did yesterday and how my new bag got christened. I want to show you what I carried in the bag, and I want to show you the wear on it in just the first day, because I already noticed a few things. And I know that there aren't a lot, and I apologize too for the noise in the background. My bird is back from vacation from her grandmother's house, and if you can hear the whistling and any other chatter in the background, that is Vincent. So I've noticed that there aren't a whole lot of videos on the Turenne on YouTube, so I wanted to go ahead and give you whatever information I have for anybody who is looking to purchase a Turenne, so you can have more information, know what to expect on the bag, know how she wears and all that. So I want to start by telling you where we went yesterday. I got an email on, today's Sunday, so yesterday was Saturday. On Friday, I got an email from from Texas Wine something or other. Oh, one of the wineries. They sent information about this Bluebonnet wine trail that they do annually, where in the area around Houston there are several vineyards, and you can go on this trail, you buy tickets, you get a special wine glass, and you go do these tastings, and this was a wine and cheese tasting. So my mom and my boyfriend and I, we all like to do wineries. It's something we do all the time. My boyfriend's been really sick. I'm sick too. I don't know if you can tell from my voice, but I've been sick for the last couple days. I keep looking at Vincent. Sorry about that. So what was I saying? My brain's not working because I'm sick. So we went to these wineries, and it was just my mom and I that went because my boyfriend was homesick. But we went to 3 different wineries yesterday. The first was, let's see if I can remember the name of them. I know them. The first one I've been to before, right? Oh yeah, the first one I love, and my brain is just not working. So it's called Saddlehorn Winery. Great little winery here in Texas, really pretty. They have this, not brick oven, but a wood-fired pizza thing, and we went and had 2 of their wines, and it was the wine and cheese Bluebonnet trail, and instead of like little cubes of cheese from the grocery store, they had some really nice cheese items. So this place had these wood-fired pizzas with 5 different cheeses, and then their 2 wines to sample. And while we were there, I took some pictures of the Turenne in the bluebonnets, because when you're in Texas and it's bluebonnet season, you have to get pictures in the bluebonnets, so why not? And the second winery we went to was called Pleasant Hill, which is another one we've been to a few times. They have beautiful vineyards and bluebonnet, like a bluebonnet field outside, and nice places to sit. And their cheese item was a cream cheese. It had some pesto and sun-dried tomatoes and olives that you spread on some bread. That was really good. And the last place we hadn't been to, it was called Texas Star. That was really interesting, and it turned out to be my favorite experience of the day, maybe because we hadn't been there before, so it was all new to me. It was sort of in a wooded area, and they don't grow their own grapes there. They get them from other places, like a lot of Texas wineries do. We bring in grapes. But they had a lot of wines that were made from grapes, but then they also had a lot that were made from other things, like they had prickly pear cactus wine. They had a hibiscus wine, which is the one that I bought, which is interesting. It was like a love-hate relationship, but I loved it enough that I bought it. And what else? Cranberry wine. They had a dessert wine that was mandarin orange, I believe it was, paired with chocolate. That was pretty good too. So anyway, the Turenne went all over the place yesterday to all these wineries, and she got some really good use. So I carried her in a few different ways. I want to tell you about that. And I put her down in a bluebonnet field, and she hung off a table while we were having dinner at this barbecue place after all the wineries. So she got some use, and I want to tell you how she did with that. The first thing that I want to do though is, and I'm looking down at some notes that I made, I want to show you what I have in the bag so that I can then show you some things with the bag empty, and I'll talk about the wear and tear to her too. And there's really no tear, but I noticed some changes right away. So let's start with what's in my bag. What did I carry? So I'm going to open her up here, and I'll first take out the things that I had in the pockets. So here is, this was, I stuffed this in at the end of the day. This is the menu from Texas Star Winery, and those are the wines that they had available that day. And anyway, those were pretty interesting. So there's that. Here's some tissues that I confiscated from my mother's purse because I was sick and I forgot to bring tissues. You know how you have cosmetic bags in your bag and you have all the stuff you carry with you and it weighs you down, and then one day you decide not to take your cosmetic bag, and that's the day that you need everything in it, of course. I have my little reading glasses in one of the pockets. And when I was packing this bag to leave yesterday, I have several cosmetics, I have organizers. You saw an organizer video that I posted the other day. And I decided not to use any of those and just to put things in the bag as she was, because if you watch the organizer video, I'm really paranoid about not damaging, but misshaping the pleats on the bag. I really want to keep those in great shape, so I'm careful about how much I put inside where it might push on the outside. So I want to prevent that from happening. I have in one of the small pockets, so it has, I should have shown you this earlier, I guess. Let me adjust my light a little where you can see inside the bag better. So there are two small flat pockets and one big flat pocket. It's a little hard to see. So in one of the pockets I have my little bag holder, which I didn't end up using. And in the other pocket I have my Tide to Go stick, which I always take when I go wine tasting because inevitably I'll spill something on myself. I've actually only had to use that once, but it worked great. I spilled some red wine on a white shirt, got it right out. A pen. Normally I would keep pens in these nice bags and a cosmetic, but I just put that in the pocket and was careful with it. And then that's all that I have in the little pockets. I didn't have anything on the D-ring. I took my my Louis Vuitton MM agenda because I have a section in here for winery notes where I make notes on the wines. I have my wallet. It's a Furlough wallet. Those are the two big items. And then the rest are small things that I had in here. So I have my sunglasses. I actually wore those the whole day and didn't have them in the bag so much. I have this little Fashionphile pouch that I got with another item, but in that I keep my camera. I'm a photographer. I always carry a camera with me, and that's one that I really like. It's a little Canon. I have my healthcare cards. I try to take those everywhere because that's another thing. Like, if you forget to take your healthcare cards, that's the day you're gonna get hurt and need your healthcare cards, right? I have this piece of paper, which was our tickets. Let me cover up information, personal information, but these were our tickets to the wine trail. So I had that, and then when you go to the wineries, they stamp them, and when you get to the 6th out of the 7 wineries, they give you these little, stone isn't the right word, like slate coasters. I think they said Texas Bluebonnet Trail. I saw some of them. We're going back the next 2 weekends to do the other legs of the winery trail. And then I have a bunch of medicine in here. So I have my little pill pouch, and I have my Cold Ease gummies. I think this is kind of a new item. My boyfriend is retired and he worked in medicine, and he turned me on to taking zinc. When you get sick, it really, if you just power it down, it really seems to not make you less sick, but make the symptoms less severe and make the cold not last as long. So I do that all the time. And these Cold Ease gummies seem to work really well. And they've got, I don't know, you don't want to know about that, do you? Okay. So like I said, I'm like 20 times already, I'm sick. And when we were out yesterday going to these wineries, the wine makes me a little stuffy too, so I was starting to feel worse and worse. And I think some of it might be allergies because there's a lot of pollen out right now. It's springtime, March. And so anyway, my mom and I stopped at the CVS because I didn't have the right meds on me, and I got some acetaminophen and some, it's like the CVS brand of Allegra, I think, yeah, some allergy meds. And that's all I had in my bag. I usually carry more than that, but again, I didn't want to stuff this bag. I usually carry a scarf with me too, and I wish I had yesterday because I got chilly in the morning being outside. But anyway, I didn't want to overstuff the bag. So now to the wear and tear. One of the first things I noticed yesterday was after I did the unboxing video on, I want to say it was Saturday. So yesterday? No, it would have been Friday. So after I did the unboxing video on Friday, I had been, for the whole week that I had the bag, I had been keeping it in its dust bag, laying on its side in the box that it came in. So after I did the video on Friday, I left it sitting up like this. And let me show you here. So when it sits up, you can see right here this like dimpling in the bag. And that's something, and right here, and I think it's on all, yeah, it's on all four sides. So that's something that when I was looking at the reviews of this bag, that's something that people talked about. And it's not something that bothers me. It's something I wanted to try to prevent. I thought maybe if I stuff it in the corners and push it out, that would prevent that dimpling from happening and from staying there and being permanent. And I think though all that it is just it's like soft. It's got a couple layers of canvas on the bottom maybe, so it's not very stiff. You can see it's pretty pliable. It's not as pliable as like the Speedy where you just have that one piece of canvas because it still has the lining and stuff in there. But when it sits, just the weight of the top of the bag pushes down on those corners, and they're a little structured, but they're not like super structured. So that's just a natural thing that happens when the bag is sitting up. So I guess to prevent that, you'd want to lay the bag down when you have it stored. And if you are out somewhere, maybe you wouldn't want to set the bag up. Maybe you would want to hang the bag up from a bag hanger, like the one I just showed you, or something like that. And then, maybe stuff those corners if that bothers you. That doesn't bother me, but I did think it was interesting that I noticed that immediately after it sitting overnight, just one night, one day, and I'm already seeing that wear on the bag. The other thing that I noticed was most of the day I carried this, I'm not a big crossbody person, and this is a crossbody strap, but I'm into shoulder bags, so I carried this on my shoulder, and I'm going to move the camera over a little so you can see how I carried it. So I carried it like this all day, and sometimes there was one point that I took it off and held it like this, which was nice too. And when I do put it on my arm, I wanted to say this about the strap. Because it's vachetta and it's brand new and it hasn't patinaed yet, I want to have, anytime I have this bag out, I want to have the strap out too so that they patina at the same rate. Okay, so anytime I would have that strap out and I'd have it on my arm, I would just take the strap, twist it over, and put it out like this, and put my arm through it like that. And that way the strap isn't hanging down and catching on anything. I think that's a really cute way to wear it, like people carry the Speedy. I like that a lot. But most of the time yesterday, I was carrying it over my shoulder like this. And one thing I noticed, especially with stuff in the bag where it's being weighted down, and I've heard this in some other reviews, is that it tends to conform to your body some. So the corners where you have the hooks are being pulled down and in by the weight that you have in the bag, and you end up getting a curve in the top of the bag. You see how it's not straight, but it's like bowed. and that's just from it conforming to your body. So I was curious about how that would wear the bag and how that would work on the first day. So far, it hasn't bothered me at all, and I was also wondering how it might affect these pleats on the back, because I have a Trevi GM that has a pleat in the center that's gotten all warped by wearing it against my body. So far, the pleats being on the side seem to be working really well because my hip falls in the middle. So it doesn't, I'm not squashing the pleats. Seems to be working well. And when I do a 6-month or year review, I'll let you know how that's working, if it's still doing well. The curve on the top is not bothering me at all because all you have to do is open it back up, push it back out, put a stuffer in it for when you're storing the bag, and I don't know how that'll affect over time yet, but right now it's not like a permanent misshaping of the bag. What else was I going to say? I don't remember. All right, so I want to show you, let me look at the notes that I have here. Oh, a couple of things. So I've read with people who have light colored bags or vachetta that sometimes when you wear blue jeans with it, and especially if you wear it crossbody or on your hip or something, that it rubs against the jeans and gets some color transfer. Yesterday I had like a white flowered top and some green blue jeans, green jeans, and the jeans have had for several months, so they've been washed a lot, so it wasn't new dye in there, and there's no transfer at all on there, so that wasn't a problem. I'm curious how it would be with brand new jeans. I have some new pair that haven't been washed as many times, so I'll wear it with that and be careful and see how that goes. I'm looking at my notes again here. The tabs, that's something that I've been concerned about with the wear. So I'll talk about the 3 different tabs. So there's the zipper pull tab, and at first when I was getting in and out of the bag yesterday, I would hold it more toward the bottom of the zipper and like by the metal to zip back and forth, and instead of getting my fingers and the oils on your skin on the tab so much. But by the end of the day, I was just pulling the tab back and forth, and I think that I may over time see some curling in the tab just from regular use, and that would be the part of the bag besides the handles where I'm touching it that are going to get dirty the fastest. This tab here, I noticed when I had the bag full that it raised up a little bit, but it wasn't very much, and I was aware of that. I was aware of not overstuffing it, which is why I didn't take the scarf today, because if I did have things in the top of the bag, that's going to push that up more, and I don't want that to end up being a permanent thing. I've also been aware of these tabs on the side, which tend to curl out, and one thing I noticed I was doing yesterday, I'm going to put this back on my shoulder here for a second. Sorry about spinning you guys around so much. So one thing I noticed I was doing when I was carrying it was having my hand right here, and I just did that subconsciously, really. It was just kind of a comfortable way to hold it. And having my hand there helped keep that tab down. Not that it was being pushed out, but it was just something I noticed. What else do I have on here? I think I got everything that I wanted to cover. So the last thing I wanted to do was tell you a couple things that I forgot to do when I did the unboxing the other day. And that was to show you where the date code is in the bag and to show you the tag where it says where it's made. So on the front tab, you can see it says Louis Vuitton Paris. And if you know about Louis Vuitton bags, a lot of the ones that you get in the States at the stores are made in the USA. And even though it says Paris, it doesn't say made in Paris. So you have to look inside the bag for a couple different things. So sometimes it'll be on that tab, I don't know if you can see that very well, but that also says Louis Vuitton Paris. But then there's a third tab in the bag And I'm just going to push this out here a little bit. And let me try to get some better lighting on here. Sorry. All right, so let's see if we can get this. So there's this tab in here. And I'm going to go ahead and pull that out where you can read it. So that says, it's hard to read it because it's backwards on my screen. And it's upside down. That makes it harder. Okay. So made in USA of imported materials. It doesn't say where the materials are imported from. I would guess from France, but who knows. And then let me show you again because you couldn't see it earlier very well. There, it has these two pockets in here, and then it has this one big pocket. Oh, it's hard to see. I think you can see it there. So inside one of the two pockets, inside this one, and it's going to be hard to pull out for you to see, but you see that little tab right there? It's a Vachetta tab. That's where the date code is. And my bag, I just purchased it, like I said, a week ago, so March 2017, and my bag was made in 2017. So, brand new little girl. I think that was everything, and I hope that was helpful and informative for anybody who's interested in the Turenne. So far, I'm really loving her. I would like to do a comparison of her and my Speedy 30 because they're similar in size. I've seen one other person on YouTube that has a video, and I'll see if I can find it and link it below, where she compares this bag to the Speedy. And they're similar in size, but then there are differences, and like you can stuff the Speedy, but this one I don't feel comfortable stuffing because I don't want to mess with the integrity of the bag. So that is it for now. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, please click the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please do that below. And also, if you'd like the video and would like to see more, please subscribe and check out my other videos too. Thanks. Bye.